Hi, I'm David,
Hi, I'm Kevin.
and together we will be traveling the world for the next 6 months, visiting about 40 countries across 5 continents.
It's currently week 1,
Well, not really.
but we didn't really record ourselves when we left, and our attempt to make an intro sequence didn't turn out very well. Okay, I'll set it.
So, we'll have to do a little explaining to fill in the gaps.
This filling in will gradually decrease over each week as we become more skilled and comfortable with vlogging. But for now, let's get back to the episode.
More than anything, I was just excited for it. Of course, I was going to miss family and friends, but really the only hard part about leaving was saying bye to my parents. Other than that, I was really just ready to go. My only worry was the language barrier. Pretty much all of my Spanish from high school was completely out the door, so I wasn't really sure how well we were going to be able to communicate with the locals.
The first day for me just felt like, any other trip I had taken. My parents and I packed in our car at around 10 a.m., went off to the airport, and it felt like I was taking another flight to Philly or California or, any of the local trips that we would have taken. But this time was a little different. I knew in my head that, we'd be gone for 6 months, but I didn't really feel that we'd be gone for 6 months yet. And there's a clip that will come up later that you'll see where I feel that we'll be gone for 6 months. And on January 5th, we arrived at the airport, ready to start the next chapter of our lives.
Please come back to the pasta house.
Yes, sir.
Shopping pickup. Please serve in complimentary soft drinks.
The entirety of our first day was a planned 24 hours of travel, starting with a flight to Cancun at 11 a.m. From Cancun, we would then fly to Lima, where we would have a 5-hour layover.
So, landed in Lima like 2 hours ago. Got some food. It's now 2 a.m. And we're gonna sleep on these fine recliners.
From Lima, we flew to our final destination, which is Cusco, Peru. But
Well, it looks like there's a little wrench in our Cusco plan. We've been traveling for how many hours have we been traveling?
Coming close to 24.
So 24 hours, and the plane gets sent back 5 minutes before we land. So
I just want a nap.
eventually, we arrived in Cusco after 26 hours of traveling with little sleep, which resulted in
just woke up after a 4-hour nap after 24 hours of traveling. Was refreshed with a nice cold shower, and I think we're gonna go leave in an hour to get some footage of Cusco and go eat because we were too tired on the way in to take anything, and get ready for Machu Picchu tomorrow morning at 8. Exciting.
because of our tiresome travels, we decided to start off the trip with the most comforting thing we could think of: pizza. End of day 1 progress report. After 27 hours of traveling, finally made it to Cusco. Altitude sickness is really starting to set in. Even doing basic tasks like walking up these stairs is proving very difficult.
Yeah, there's a hill right outside our apartment, and it's brutal.
But aside from that, Cusco is very beautiful. It's definitely worth the lightheaded headaches.
Definitely.
Not eating for 24 hours. Tomorrow we go to Machu Picchu at 8:10 in the morning. Hopefully we'll do some walking around before then. Depends on if we wake up.
Yeah, that's an all-day thing, so that'll take up pretty much our last day in Cusco. Unfortunately, there's thunderstorms in the forecast, so we'll see how that goes.
But aside from that, we'll see you tomorrow.
All right, so we're here at the bus station, getting ready to head to Machu Picchu. So we'll have a little bus ride and then we'll switch over to the train. Welcome to Machu Picchu.
Well, I'm a fat, they did torches, candles.
The voice behind the camera is our tour guide Felix. He explained to us and two Australians we met the history of the Inca and their ancient city.
Are you understanding? We might say, guys, llamas among the locals were something like buffaloes among the ancient American Indians. Nothing was really wasted. Hundreds of years, guys, to build all this entire Machu Picchu city.
Felix was very nice, but when we first got there, he was trying to charge us about $150 USD. But thankfully, with enough haggling and help from our new Australian friends, we got him down to about $15 a person.
That happens from the beginning to the end. The Incans, guys, they have started to build the city 700 AD. That was kind of initial period of the Incan Empire, right? 13th and 14th centuries, that was the apex of the Incan civilization. That was the highest peak. And 16th century was, guys, where the Incan Empire has collapsed. Amen, my friends. Machu Picchu city was built gradually by several generations, different kings, pharaohs, or Caesars, different periods, my friends, over 800 of years.
After a nice 2-hour informative tour with our new friend Felix, we headed home and spent the rest of the day returning from Machu Picchu. Final day in Cusco. Yesterday we went to Machu Picchu. It was pretty great. Had a tour guide of 23 years show us the sights. Today we had to check out at 10 a.m. from our Airbnb, so we're just exploring the city, carrying around our massive backpacks. We found this little plaza with a great view. We're just gonna chill out for a while, explore the rest of the city. We both thoroughly enjoyed the new culture, the wonderful scenery, and the strange freedom we found in Cusco that came from traveling the world by ourselves. However, we also saw the first signs of planning our trip a little too aggressively. During our 3 days there, we were really only able to see Machu Picchu due to exhaustion from traveling, poor planning, and acclimating to the new environment before we were already off to the next city. Good morning. It's approximately 5:40 a.m. We are in Arequipa after a good 8-hour-long bus ride.
10 hours.
Was it 10 hour long? Okay, good 10 hour long bus ride. Bus review wasn't too bad. A lot better than I expected.
Very bumpy roads.
Very bumpy. I thought the guy was gonna hit a hill a couple times. But it was very dark, so it was hard to see anything. But now we're just waiting until 6 a.m. when we can check into our Airbnb. So it's now almost 8 o'clock in Arequipa. I've been walking around for 30-ish minutes trying to find a place to fly the drone. David's hid behind in the Airbnb to get a nap. I don't blame him. I really want a nap right now. And I think I finally found a spot. The park I was originally trying to go to seemed to be turned into a garden / market / house. So now I just have this small little park here. I think I'm disturbing this man, and we'll see if we can get some good shots. Okay, so it looks like my super good spot turned out to be not such a good spot. The gentleman who was working out in the park came up. Wasn't 100% sure what he said, but I think he was talking about I should not fly here because I think it was A, potentially illegal because I have to keep it in line of sight, which I was going to, but B, there are people around here who would try and steal it. So we're going to see if we can find another spot with less people.
Later that day, we wanted to try a place across the street from our Airbnb that had some South American delicacies.
About to complete my South American experience, eating some alpaca. A little nervous about it, but we'll see how it goes. I thought it was so good that we decided to go see some alpacas at Alpaca World.
When I saw Alpaca World on Google Maps, I immediately knew that we needed to go there. We weren't sure what to expect from it, but it turned out to be a store that makes clothes out of baby alpaca fleece, and they had a small exhibit of the machinery they use, and most importantly, a petting zoo with alpacas and llamas.
Here you go.
Thoroughly satisfied with both the taste and sight of alpacas, we decided to head home for the day. It is our second and final day in Arequipa. It's currently 3 p.m. and we're waiting around for it to get a little later. We're gonna go visit the Santa Catalina Monastery.
The next morning, we were going to take a bus from Arequipa to our last stop in Peru, Puno. But that night, we received an email from our bus company that there were going to be some small changes. Notice the statement, "I guarantee that you will not find yourself using a service of lesser quality or comfort." That couldn't be further from the truth.
All right, we're here at the bus stop. It's about 5:15, so should be getting picked up soon. This one's not a 10.5-hour bus ride. It's only 8.5, so hopefully it's not as bad.
After we got picked up, we ended up sitting in a van with 7 other people for several minutes, while the driver seemed confused where we were going and was constantly making phone calls.
When we finally got to the bus station, we got our tickets, and the rest of the group made it through security, except for us.
The Asians spent several minutes fighting over whether or not to let us through, but luckily enough for us, they did, and we were eventually on our way.
We made it on the bus. Just barely.
We were going to take some shots of the trip, but the quality of the view was indicative of the quality of the rest of the bus and our experience on it.
All right, so we've had quite the eventful day so far. I don't even know where to start. So our bus that was supposed to go to Puno broke down, so we had to go to this town called Juliaca. And we were supposed to have someone waiting here for us, which didn't happen. So they put us on this bus, which is going to Puno, but the person that's supposed to be with us is not with us. So I don't know if this is the right bus to be on or not. So we'll see.
So here's the Puno. Thankfully, that was the last of our troubles, and we were able to bond with the others in the group about what an unreal experience the day had been, before finally arriving to our destination. Well, we survived our bus trip to Puno, so that's a plus. We found the guide.
And bus rides like that are the second indication that our trip planning wasn't really the greatest.
So after a long, enjoyable day of travel, we have finally arrived in our Airbnb in Puno. One thing I forgot to mention yesterday at the Santa Catalina Monastery was these bad boys, the price. So if you look on this side, you see my receipt, right, for 40 sols, and you see David's receipt for 20 sols. Does he look like he's... And the reason for that is if you're under 21, you get or 21 and under, you get a special discount. But I didn't get that discount, so I'm a little upset.
Tough luck. The next morning, our host made us breakfast and was gracious enough to give us some mangoes for the road. With the mangoes in hand, we hopped on the bus headed for the Bolivian border and arrived at our destination 2 hours later. But to see what happens after crossing, check back next week for episode 2 on February 9th. In the meantime, here's a preview of what to expect.